When communists start to lose power, they turn to violence. And when the violence doesn't achieve its desired goal, they get more violent. All of the mass movements, the organic stuff, never really materialized after Trump won the election last November. Certainly nothing like the scene around D.C. after his 2017 inauguration. Remember the women in the pink hats and all the fires out on the streets all over D.C.? Too many normal Americans are just fed up with the status quo of the communist deep state, and that's why Trump swept into power. That said, the commies don't really have an effective means to stave off what Trump, his cabinet, and Elon are now doing. They're completely transforming America away from government corruption and injustice into a nation that is no longer being ripped off by other countries around the world, having its middle class taxed into oblivion, and bringing an end to the theft of trillions of those tax dollars being used to promote anti-American globalism. It's a gigantic case of reprioritizing, not seen since our blessed Lord stormed into the temple and turned over the money changers' tables and then fashioned a whip to beat them as he drove them out of the temple precincts. In similar fashion, this is what's unfolding now politically. Just as the political leaders of the day rose up and eventually killed our Lord for revenge, so too the political leaders of today, who profit mightily from all of that corruption, are striking back as well. Elon Musk has become the focus of their attention, and tearing down Tesla has become their obsession. Over the past week, Teslas have been set on fire, charging stations for them blown up, and in the dead of the night, 44 vehicles had their wheels stolen from a lot in League City, Texas, right here in Texas. The wave of violence prompted Trump to declare violence against Tesla as domestic terrorism, which opens up different avenues for law enforcement to pursue those responsible. Turns out now that the Democratic money laundering machine Act Blue is funding the groups whose members are doing the violence. The same Act Blue whose leaders are now scurrying. They're resigning left and right to avoid anticipated prosecution for campaign finance fraud. No surprise there. In fact, leftist billionaire Reid Hoffman and Elon got into a social media spat when Elon accused him of being one of the forces behind all of this. Hoffman responded, "I'm not paying anyone to blow up Teslas." Well, that's kind of a clever sidestep. No, he's not probably directly paying for that. That would be too traceable. He is, however, funding the groups whose members are doing it. So, big picture here. We always do the big picture here. The communists are bent on creating a world without God, where a few elites run everything as though they are the gods, and human suffering reckons for nothing in their views. See COVID, for example. Their source of funding was U.S. aid. Billions and billions and billions of your tax dollars being used to overthrow the republic, which has since been closed down by Trump after Elon and Doge's discovery of all that fraud. The communist deep state actors now understand they are losing ground fast, and their corruption is coming to full light. Since Elon and his Doge office are the tip of the spear, they have decided he must be taken out. All of this has caused Tesla's stock to drop more than 40% in the past few weeks as the threats against Elon increase. He even canceled a scheduled trip to Europe for safety concerns. Good on him. Justice demands the communists be eradicated from the American landscape. All institutions, all political offices, the media, etc. Senator Joe McCarthy and the famous Red Scare of the 1950s, where communists were revealed who had infiltrated government and media, well, that's all turned out to be true. The only thing McCarthy got wrong was the extent of the takeover. He way underestimated it. Trump needs to set his sights on finishing what Joe McCarthy began. Coming to you from Houston, Texas, yeehaw! I'm Gary Michael Voris. God love you.